Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Ray, and today I'm going to be doing a video on Biden's announcement. Now, a lot of people are coming to me with fear. A lot of people are, wondering like, what is the next thing that's coming through? What is coming down the pipeline? And I've always been that psychic to give you the tea, regardless if some people don't like it, that I speak my mind very, very lightly. Again, at the end of the day, this reading is just my own personal opinions and insight from spirit. Everything is alleged, so it's not like me stating that, this is like definitely facts, but, we've known like a lot of the things that I said and I've covered, throughout the years here on my channel. I've gotten a lot of backlash, specifically when it came to politics. So a lot of the stuff that I've said was accurate, and it was, not to toot my own horn, but it was very, very accurate, despite, what was the outcome of the election, etc. Like back then, in 2020, before the election even took place, there were a lot of predictions that I made about this vaccine. And I'm not going to refer to it as that, but what Biden spoke about. So it's kind of like in code what I have to say here. But I'm going to do a reading because I think generally like there's a lot of fear around this. The one thing that I want to tell you also, and just clear up, I'm not against the vaccine. I'm not against vaccines. Okay. I'm not against that. My own personal opinion and beliefs about this one that they are forcing or mandating, quote unquote, it doesn't set well with me because, again, the fact is that we should have our own choice for this, but one of the things that I do want to talk about before I get into the reading itself is like what's happening right now with the world, the state of the world that we're in right now. This is like the new racism, people that are vaxxed versus people that are unvaxxed. We are being discriminated, the people that are not getting vaxxed, right? And also, since it is something that is medical, it should be something that's kept private. Yet you're seeing it kind of trickle down. There's a lot of battles and things of that nature. I will say that a lot of the stuff that I have seen, I did already make a post on Patreon, and I will, for those of you that are not on my Patreon, there's a lot of stuff there that I've said that I'm not going to say on here tonight because, again, this is a very public platform. And so I also want you to have a state of peace in your heart, and not, turn against other people in the comments section. I want everybody to know that despite your own political beliefs, despite your own thought processes, we're all brothers and sisters, okay? We can all be civil. If it gets out of hand in the comments section, I will have to disable the comments. I'm hoping I'm not going to have to do that because I don't want to be reading, negative vibrations and stuff, but it comes with the territory, so you got to have thick skin in this. But again, I will not beckon or cower to, bullies or people who, don't like the fact that I'm stating my peace of mind and my own personal beliefs. I've stated I believe that this potential situation, getting the jab kind of has some kind of effects down the road. That, yeah, people have gotten it, they feel fine, everything's great, a lot of people are good. But that's not to say down the road that there's not going to be effects. There's also a select few of people who started developing myocarditis, along with, that's basically heart inflammation, etc., among other things too, which I did predict. And those of you that are my true fellow rays of light out there can attest to. And I said this like a long time ago. There was a lot of things that I also said of why I decided not to, not to affiliate myself a certain way with the current administration at all, because I felt like a lot of this was coming down. And a lot of people were like, oh, you're wrong and you're this and this. But now look at it. Today has been a debacle. It has further divided the nation. It's not unified people at all. And basically you're being labeled as a threat if you don't comply and you don't get, something in your body that you should have a choice. Yet the system is so twisted and reversed that when it comes to abortions, right, we're talking about lives that are being taken. We hear that term, my body, my choice, right? And that's being fought against, you know, like states here in Texas where it's become like, you know, basically we've said no to that, right? Unless if it has a heartbeat, then no. But yet you see something like the jab and it's being promoted 100%. And it's like, if you don't get it, you can't work. And if you don't get it, you can't, you know, do this and you can't do that. So it's like discrimination and racism all tied together. This is the new racism, is what I'm saying. And I think that you hear nothing but crickets from celebrities and people out there who have been silent for far too long, and they are just seeing the stuff that's unrolling, you know, I mean, that's rolling out into the public eye, and they won't speak up and they won't say anything because they're feared of being blacklisted. They're fear of, they have fear of being targeted, right, by people that hate them because they have a separate opinion. But as civilized adults, you know, it taking away political affiliation, your political beliefs. We're talking about basic human rights and you having the right to decide what goes inside your own body. You know, people that smoke, I have nothing against people who smoke, whether it's a regular cigarette or something else, but they have their choice if they want to put that in their, you know, in their body. And I'm just using this as an analogy, kind of like an example. Yet you don't hear the federal government, or you don't hear executive orders being tossed out that it's unconstitutional, you know, or it's wrong for them to do that to their body, right? Because they're choosing to willingly put something in their body. But yet we have something like the vaccine, you know, that is now, you don't have a choice. Like in some, you know, a lot of our federal employees or people that are in healthcare in some states, you know, they're being forced to get it, and some people are just quitting. So when you start dividing people, because this is like a division, you are essentially contributing to, you know, technically, quote unquote, the unemployment rate, because people are going to be unemployed. You're also restricting not only our healthcare system, and kudos to all of our nurses and doctors out there. If you did get the vaccine, you know, that's more power to you. I'm not judging anyone who got it or any ray of light that got the vaccine. I'm just stating things that are very obvious, right? People who chose not to get the, you know, the jab. We don't know right now if a lot of those people have quit. When you have shortages in medical facilities, it becomes very scary, you know, and they're stating a lot of stuff that, you know, the media headlines, they are controlled by the government, and there are a lot of stuff that you're seeing down the pipeline, like down, you know, that are coming out stating that this and this and this and this, you know, these are all, you're seeing a rise in the numbers of hospitalizations, etc. But what the data that they're not providing, which would be great if it was transparent, is to see how many of those people that are, you know, getting it are not, you know, have had the actual jab. And I think a lot of them, they're just, you know, blatantly just lying and telling people that it's mainly the people who haven't gotten the jab. But all of this has a lot to do with money. It is definitely has a lot to do with money. So I'm done with that part. I'm going to get into the reading. I'll try to give you as much tea as I can. I'm using the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, and then I'm going to be using your heart knows the way, because I feel like you guys as a collective need some personal messages, and I'm sending my love and angel hugs out to each and every one of you. If you are in a state of anger right now, try to find love in your heart. Don't be angry. Don't be upset. That's not the way to handle this. That further divides us as a collective. What we need to do is just pray and really hand it over to God and to the people that are in the power, like our state governors, our, you know, people that represent us, or people that have a position in power that may not agree with that. You know, I think a large majority of people think that, oh, the whole, you know, the consensus is that the majority rule typically, you know, are for this. And you'd be surprised when you start really knowing about people. There's a large amount of people who are maybe liberal that actually are not for this, okay, for the jab. And again, I'm not trying to bring in politics. I'm just saying there's a lot of people that are not for it, right? And you know, I think that like a lot of people don't realize, like for me personally, because of my health history, because I've had immune problems in the past, things that I haven't never revealed here on my channel, that's the only reason that I am against me personally taking it, right? But other people out there should have a choice. You know, there are people that may not be able to take it, and if you're being forced, you're basically not given a choice, you know, and we don't know what can come from that, and it's scary. It really is. But this is how a lot of people in America feel right now, around the world. The Ten of Swords, okay? We feel betrayed. A lot of things that were said that would not be mandated are contradictory, and it's coming out and it's being mandated. So it's, again, lies that were told, that promises that were told that were never kept, and betrayal. This is how people feel in America. A large majority. I'm not saying everybody does, right? Not everybody feels like that, but a large majority feel like that. They really do. And then we have here the Page of Wands. So again, we're seeing like a lot of creativity around this. People who are trying to use their positions, celebrities primarily, and other people who got it, you know, telling the masses, I got it and I'm fine. You should get it too. You know, it's almost like when it came to voting and people were telling me, you're using your platform to tell people how to vote. And I was like, no, I'm not. You know, people are using their platform every day. Celebrities were. I don't consider myself necessarily like a celebrity, like, you know, the people in Hollywood, but I use my platform to educate and promote awareness. That's a big difference. I never told anyone, you need to vote Republican or you need to vote Democrat. But a lot of people were like, you need to vote Biden and Harris, right? Okay, so they did. There is a buyer's remorse, really, among the people that voted a certain way. I will say that. We have the Empress here. So the Empress typically symbolizes like a rebirth. And I kind of feel like also this represents a female power here. Someone that kind of comes in and is not on board necessarily with everything. I don't know if this is somebody in the Supreme Court, because again, you cannot just, I mean, I don't know a lot about, you know, law and stuff like that, but you can't just create executive orders and bypass, you know, chain of command, or, you know, the check and balances systems. That's why we have a government. That is why we have Congress. And laws have to go through certain channels before that they are passed, right? And then we have the Four of Swords. So people just feel tired. People, you know, they need a break. It almost feels like, also like, you know, you see somebody sleeping. The mass, a lot of the mass collective out there that are vibrating at a different level are like spiritually asleep. They're asleep. They're not really aware of what decision to make. They see something on a popular news channel, right? Not naming names, and they go for it. And they're like, okay, we're just going to go for it because, you know, it's the popular thing, right? And then we have here the Two of Cups, which is about love, right? Typically this is about love and stuff. But I feel like Spirit is saying that love is the answer here. Love is the answer coming together, two opposing sides, two people, right? Notice it has the, what do you call that? The medical thing in between them, right? So it's very appropriate. It's like, can both sides come together and come to a compromise? The people that are, you know, vaxxed versus the people that are not. And this is what I was telling you. There's a lot of division. This has all divided the country. It's divided the world. We need to stick together. We need to create peace, not, you know, not war, not anything like violence. That's not the answer. You see here a lot of people juggling with decisions around their jobs. Literally after this, like, I feel like a lot of people are going to be literally having conversations with their bosses and employers and asking, you know, what is the next step from here? Like, what follows next? Because a lot of people are literally having conversations within their families too here in America. They're like, well, I don't want to get it, and if I don't get it, then what do I do next? Because a lot of people actually pay thousands, right, to a system to, you know, be in the medical field or be in a profession, and now they're having to abandon that or comply and take, you know, something into their body that we don't know all of the repercussions. It hasn't been researched enough, and I think that in itself is what's deterring a lot of people from getting it. You're going to see a lot of communication between headlines, companies, the, you know, the Supreme Court, Congress, etc. There's going to be so much information within the next 2 weeks. You're going to see tons of it. A lot of, you know, states are going to be suing basically this administration. There's going to be a lot of uproar. I see riots. I see like people, you know, just not happy and stating this, but I don't feel like there's going to be a lot of news coverage of it as well, because again, it looks bad in a certain way. But when you look at polls and you ask about the current administration, it's not looking good, right? Their popularity is, this was not a good move. And we have here the Seven of Pentacles. So a lot of people are going to be working super hard in finding ways that are creative to make money, but also working super hard in their jobs to secure their job, so they won't have to, you know, face that if they don't want to get it. But ultimately, it's going to be up to the High Priestess. So basically, a lot of people need to use their intuition. I don't think a lot of people are thinking for themselves. They have other people thinking for them. Families are, it's crazy. Like friends and families, I've seen posts like, if you didn't get it, you can't come into my household. I have friends that haven't gotten it. That, you know, I'm just repeating conversations that I've read on social media or I've heard in person. Like I've heard, I read somewhere where someone was saying, you know, I have friends, yeah, and 2 of them didn't get the jab and they are not welcome in my house, you know, until then. It's almost like, can't you see what's going on? You know, can't you see what is actually being done? At what point do we stop fearing this, you know, virus and start thinking for yourselves? At what point do you say enough is enough? And you know, you can't keep living and stop, you know, going to events and stop going to places just because, you know, there is a virus out there. Like, girl, the flu virus has always been around and it's been deadly too, you know? So like, how many more years are people going to be living in fear and dividing this? This was all part of the like programming of the brain. Even though people may not intentionally program people, the media has a large culpability of actually, you know, causing and inciting a lot of the paranoia and the fear. It has been a big source of the vibration being lowered. And then we have the Knight of Cups. So I do feel like there's going to be some people that come to, as if you want to call it, the rescue, and really are working against this being something that passes into like an actual law. And then we have the King of Wands. So we have a lot of key players, a lot of powerful people. I feel like these are more like governors or people in Senate that will be voicing this. The Devil card comes in. So a lot of manipulation. This doesn't feel good. It feels almost like you're in a relationship with, you know, the prez in some way, and your hands are tied. You know, people are bought. It's like whatever daddy says, right, we're going to do. And it just doesn't feel good. It feels very manipulative, dark, satanic. It feels just blah, right? And then we have here the what is this? The Nine of Pentacles. So with the Nine of Pentacles, kind of like, again, we see people trying to make a living. This is hurting them. Notice the Devil card came out before the Nine of Pentacles. It's going to hurt people left and right. I'm not talking about the jab now. I'm talking about hurting the economy, hurting people's pocketbooks, the ability to work, right? The Queen of Swords we have here. So again, we see like a female power or the divine feminine rising up against this. You're going to see a lot of people going up against this, and that's what I see. They're just going to be very vocal. We have the Page of Cups. So some news is coming. Some type of breakthrough is coming in the next couple of months. I don't know, you know, because even if you get the jab, right, even if they make it like where you have to get it, the numbers haven't gone down. Even if we, you know, we've seen a lot of people, like a, you know, a vast majority of people did get it, get the jab, but the numbers still, they're reporting, you know, in the news that there is this new variant and they're still getting it. So like, at what point do you say, I mean, and then also requiring boosters and requiring all these other things, but if you're requiring all that, like, is it really effective, you know? And you'll never see somebody that is entirely healthy, you know, that takes care of their body pushing it. It's always the unhealthy, you know, who would rather eat a McDonald's burger and scarf that and eat French fries and, you know, unhealthy things that are pushing this narrative for people to get it, right? Because they got it, you know? I mean, just because somebody gets a tattoo doesn't mean that you're going to get a tattoo, right? Just because somebody, you know, decides that they want to pierce their body doesn't mean you're going to pierce your body, right? If somebody decided to jump off a bridge, it wouldn't mean that you are going to do that because they did it, right? But then when you look at this whole situation where people are getting the jab, right? And you see the jab, you know, that they're getting it, and then now you're hearing them like, well, if I got it, you should get it too. And it's like families are turning against families. People are losing family relationships and, you know, even their marriages and stuff over this. It's become division. And if you can't see that by now, I don't know what to tell you, but other than that, you need to wake up, because this is really has caused a lot of division, even in the spiritual community. We share one heart. This is a card that came up. We share one heart. So that for the messages of the collective, it's like we are all connected to one source. Nothing divides us. Skin color, our, you know, your gender, etc., your sexual orientation or preference, that does not divide us. You know, we're all connected in as one to God, right? To source. We are all brothers and sisters. But what divides us is this fear mentality and, you know, this thing that is being pushed down where you're not given a choice. And we've never seen this in history before, you know. We have here, you are not broken. So people want you to, you know, I guess Spirit is telling the people, telling all of you, you're not broken despite how you feel. Even if you feel fear in the moment, do not fear. Do not fall into that, okay? And then we have here, we are one. So again, just remembering, we are all connected to one power and one source. I'm going to use a different deck now to give you some additional messages here. And I hope that you find some comfort in this. Like I said, I'm not trying to sway people. I want to get that clear again. If you want to get the poke, you know, if you want to get the jab, you want to get the vaccine, more power to you. That's your choice. I personally, you know, don't feel like it's the right choice for people. But that's my opinion. You know, I'm not going to tell you not to do it. If you feel like that's what's going to make you feel safer, etc., then do it. But me personally, because of my you know, my past with vaccines and having it, my body didn't agree with it. It did not work well. And I think a lot of people on my channel that I lost, like a lot of followers and people, they think that I'm some type of anti-vaxxer, and I'm not. You know, I'm not. I personally have my own beliefs, and that's all they are at the end of the day. It doesn't mean that I love you any less. It doesn't mean that we can't, you know, continue to be friends, you know, because of that. And I hope a lot of people can see that. So let's see what comes out here. The card that I got is the Explore Other Realms. So again, this is talking about exploring your faith, whatever it is. If you're Christian, if you're Catholic, if you are Protestant, Baptist, if you're non-denominational, if you're atheist, if you are spiritual, to connect with that. You know, sit in your sovereignty, reclaim your power as a person. Think for yourself. Don't allow yourself to become persuaded in fear, right? To make a decision based out of fear and because it's the popular thing to do. Be the powerful space between opposite poles. Look at this. It even has the cross. Like, this is a divineness here. This is standing in your sovereignty. And I do think that, you know, the higher realm is not happy. Our ancestors in the spiritual world is not happy with this. This is a spiritual warfare. I do feel like you know, and I will say this, I do feel like the Prez is possessed. Spiritual attachment, possession, whatever you want to call it. I don't feel like this person, when you look into his eyes, yeah, it's very creepy. The whispers. When people are possessed, you know, I will say this, and I know that this may be shocking, you know, no disrespect to the administration, right? But when people are possessed, they kind of like check out and something else checks in, you know? And if you've ever followed things like possessions, you will know. I mean, when you look at him, right, in particular in the news, you will see moments where he kind of checks out and something else checks in, and then he's an entirely different person, and the speech is impaired, or, you know, something is very off and different. And it's almost like it's what is the driving force, you know, and people are thinking that is this dementia, and they're thinking that this is like pills, you know, or medication, but it's something really else, very, very, very different from a spiritual perspective. And I'm not saying he's Linda Blair from The Exorcist, right? I'm not saying that, but there are different types of possessions. There are different things that we can call as attachments. There is some energy that is, if you look and you are spiritual, you cannot lie that there is something there. The whispering is very freaky. It weirds me out completely. And I'm a person that tries to vibrate at a very high level, but I get freaked out with the whispering, like, you know, how he did it. And I'm not going to emulate or repeat the words that he said, but if you saw it, you saw it, and you know what I'm talking about. Embody ancient wisdom. So again, this is our ancestors. This is the extraterrestrials. This is basically the other side, really looking at all of this and shaking their head and being like, honey, wow, we came this far. You know, our lineage came this far, and we're like the most advanced beings right now as humans, you know, and look where this evolution has gone. So I feel like there's conversations on the other side. Seek the guide with noble ideas. So I feel like a lot of people are looking for advice. They're looking for some type of answer. And this is the only reason I decided to do the video, because I've had a lot of people personally inboxing me and DMing me and blowing up my emails. And I wanted you to know, you know, what's going on. Reveal the truth that has long been hidden. Again, things are being hidden. Things are definitely being hidden. They're not being said. Like there is, and notice this is the DNA strand. You know, and I've said this before, that when you get this like sacred alchemy, it's sacred, the sacred bloodline, all of this, you know, it's changing it like a new race, with the jab, you know, a new DNA mutation, you know. And I will say this, it was very weird that, you know, once the people started getting the jab, you know, then this mutation, this delta came out, right? If you think about it, then we have here a start anew, begin again. So a lot of people are actually going to have to start all over. I feel like us as a people, as a nation, we need to stay together. And even though we may not like the current administration, you know, some of us, you know, we have to pray for them, despite, you know, you seeing them as your enemy, you seeing them as whatever. Pray for them. Pray for, like Jesus did on the cross, right? He prayed for the people that were basically crucifying him. That's the same thing that we need to do, is to pray. Pray for the current administration, that they see the light, that they, you know, realize that it's something that you shouldn't do to people. People should have, if we are the country of freedom and we are the country of rights that other countries look towards, what kind of example are we setting as a nation to the people, right? To the public, if we are not allowing our people to be free and to have a choice? You basically are taking away people's freedoms and liberties when you are telling them that they have to get something, otherwise they don't have a job, they can't survive, you know. And you're telling people, do not be in the same room with other people who did not get the jab, right? You're creating a division. Purify your surroundings. this is what I can tell you. If you are around people who are, you know, pro-vaccine and they don't want to associate with you, friends that are no longer, you know, you're not welcome in their space, then they were never your friends to begin with. It was a fake friendship. Your friendships should not be ruled by, you know, who got a jab and who didn't. Same thing with family. And whoever pushes you away, you know, or stops following you or stops supporting you, the best thing you can do is just send them love and let them go. Because again, that's not going to be something that would resonate at a higher vibration with people that are vibrating at a higher level. It is something that's very low level, and it's toxic. So I hope that this reading makes some kind of sense to you guys. For additional insight, you can follow me on my Patreon. Join it. It's www.patreon.com/psychic medium Ray. It is $10 per month for the subscription. If you can't afford it, you can join it. But I do share a lot of stuff there that I can't share here because it's too controversial. And I send all of my love and my blessings out to all of you guys. I hope again you have a beautiful rest of your evening, and just stay true to yourself and make the best decisions for yourself. But don't hate other people. Don't, you know, hurt other people just because they don't share the same opinions as you. We can all coexist in this human race, in this human world. And that's the message that I wanted to leave. And I hope that you found some peace from this tonight. And if you don't agree, well, you know, I still love you. And I hope that you find it in your heart to not take this personally, and just know that it's, you know, it's something that I had to do. Because I feel like a lot of people were coming to me, and rather than responding individually, that takes forever. I thought this video would be appropriate on the evening or on the eve of, you know, this announcement that we just heard. So again, many hugs, blessings, and angel kisses to you guys. I love you so much, and thank you for being here on my channel. And until next time, bye.